Biden imposes and doesn't impose sanctions, Andrew Cuomo's sexual harassment allegations, and Dr. Seuss is canceled? That and more on this week's headlines. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. The Biden administration has imposed sanctions on 7 Russian officials in response to the poisoning and imprisonment of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. What's up with Russia and poison? Why do some countries seem to always use the exact same murder method? Russians kill their enemies with poison. Americans kill their enemies with drones. And Canadians kill their enemies with kindness. Aw. Plus hockey skates strapped to a moose, right when they let their guards down. Never trust Canada. But back to the totally trustworthy country, Russia. One Biden administration official said, "It's clear that the Russian officials have targeted Mr. Navalny for his activism and efforts to reveal uncomfortable truths about Russian officials' corruption and give voice to Russian citizens' legitimate grievances with their government and its policies. We're exercising our authorities to send a clear signal that Russia's use of chemical weapons and violation of its international human rights commitments have severe consequences." That's right. The Biden administration will never stand for human rights abuses against anyone revealing uncomfortable truths about those in power. What's that, Shelley? It seems the Biden administration won't be imposing sanctions on those committing human rights abuses against someone revealing uncomfortable truths when it comes to Saudi Arabia. A U.S. intelligence report concluded that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the killing of reporter Jamal Khashoggi. As a presidential candidate last year, Biden said, "We were going to, in fact, make Saudi Arabia pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah that they are." But this week, President Biden said, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki defended the administration's decision to not impose sanctions on the Crown Prince, saying, "We believe there are more effective ways to make sure this doesn't happen again, and to also be able to leave room to work with the Saudis on areas where there is mutual agreement, where there are national interests for the United States." That is what diplomacy looks like. Look, I understand foreign diplomacy is complicated, especially in the Middle East. But this diplomacy just looks like Biden is sending a clear message that Saudi Arabia can get away with murdering any journalist that criticizes them. To that, I just have to say, I love Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. What a great fella, and handsome to boot. More after the break. Welcome back. Last week was CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. And in a speech at CPAC, Donald Trump hinted that he might run for office again in 2024.
I stand before you today to declare that the incredible journey we begun together, we went through a journey like nobody else. There's never been a journey like it. There's never been a journey so successful. We began it together 4 years ago, and it is far from being over. We've just started.
And a recent poll showed that most GOP voters would support Trump in 2024. So, the 2020 election was just like the Justice League movie. It was terrible. And now, 2024 is going to be the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie. The same characters, only this time it's longer, grittier, and even though it's marketed as being completely different, we already know the outcome. And yet, we're still going to watch it. Speaking of an abrasive New York politician with a controversial response to COVID-19, let's talk about Governor Andrew Cuomo. And I know the Trump comparison doesn't quite work. I mean, Governor Cuomo doesn't have several sexual harassment accusations against him. What's that, Shelley? Oh, Andrew Cuomo has been accused by 3 women of sexual harassment. I really need to read these stories before reporting on them. An investigation is underway to look into these allegations. Governor Cuomo issued this apology, but some people are saying it's not enough. New York Democrats are accusing him of abusing his power, and they're pressuring him to resign. One New York State Assembly member posted on Twitter, "No surprise to see the governor quickly trying to interfere with this investigation after his apology. This abuse of power will only continue and further distract from our work at the state capitol. I firmly believe the governor's resignation would be for the good of our state." And another Assembly member tweeted, "Our governor is a manipulative, controlling, abusive, power-obsessed predator. Please resign." I don't know why everyone's saying he's such a creep. Sure, he's a little rough around the edges, but Andrew Cuomo seems like the type of guy you'd want to take home to meet your grandma, if his COVID policies hadn't already killed her. For more on that, watch our story on Cuomo's nursing home COVID cover-up. More and more Democrats are pressuring Cuomo to resign. They seem to be taking a stand against sexual harassment in their own party, and will no longer tolerate any creepy behavior, unless it's in their national interest. More after the break. Welcome back. Elon Musk's SpaceX has just completed another rocket launch. The SpaceX Starship prototype launched a test flight on Wednesday in Texas.
We have liftoff.
It flew to an altitude of 6 miles, which is about as high as a commercial airplane. Then it gracefully descended and stuck the landing like a champ. Until it didn't.
Things appear to be going very smoothly at first, and then it all goes completely wrong. Just watch. 8 minutes after touchdown, it blew up.
It's just like watching Andrew Cuomo's political career. Speaking of things that could explode in Texas, Texas, along with Mississippi, announced they will be lifting mask mandates and will allow businesses to operate at 100% capacity. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves tweeted, "We are lifting all of our county mask mandates, and businesses will be able to operate at full capacity without any state-imposed rules. Our hospitalizations and case numbers have plummeted, and the vaccine is being rapidly distributed. It is time." Or more succinctly, MISSISSIPPE not required. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said, "We must now do more to restore livelihoods and normalcy for Texans by opening Texas 100%. Make no mistake, COVID-19 has not disappeared, but it is clear from the recoveries, vaccinations, reduced hospitalizations, and safe practices that Texans are using that state mandates are no longer needed." But he also cautioned, removing state mandates does not end personal responsibility. Personal vigilance to follow the safe standards is still needed to contain COVID. It's just that now state mandates are no longer needed. These moves came days after CDC Director Rochelle Walensky warned that progress in the U.S. against the virus was stalling, saying things are tenuous. Now is not the time to relax restrictions. Meanwhile, President Biden called the governor's decisions to end these mask mandates Neanderthal thinking. The president then launched into a long story about how he met a Neanderthal when he was a teenager back in Delaware. After a few minutes, the White House press corps realized President Biden was actually describing the plot of the 1992 movie Encino Man. Speaking of cultural treasures, Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss is the latest victim of cancel culture. Or is he? Dr. Seuss's name was excluded by President Biden from the annual proclamation of Read Across America Day, which coincides with Seuss's birthday on March 2nd. And reports circulated that Dr. Seuss books were being banned by a Virginia school district. However, those reports might be a bit misleading. In a statement, Loudoun County Public Schools said they aren't banning books and are merely discouraging a connection between Read Across America Day and Seuss's birthday, which have been historically connected. So what's the reason? Is it because they decided, "Oh, the places you'll go" is ableist? Or because green eggs and ham is a flagrant disregard of consent? No means no, Sam I am. Nope, it's because of racism. The Loudoun County Public Schools' reasoning is that research in recent years has revealed strong racial undertones in many books written/illustrated by Dr. Seuss. It's hard to deny when looking at pictures like this, and this, and this, portraying minorities as stereotypical caricatures. And debate about Dr. Seuss being racist has been raging for years. Some have alleged the Cat in the Hat's appearance mirrors blackface. If that allegation is true, then that's easily the second most upsetting depiction of that character. Despite this, Loudoun County Public Schools insisted that Dr. Seuss books are still available in its school libraries and classrooms. However, Dr. Seuss and his books are no longer the emphasis of Read Across America Day in Loudoun County Public Schools. But while Dr. Seuss books aren't being banned in Virginia schools, they are being banned by Dr. Seuss Enterprises. The company that oversees the publishing of Dr. Seuss's works said it scrapped these 6 books. They said, "We listened and took feedback from our audiences, including teachers, academics, and specialists in the field too, as part of the review process." The decision was supported by Seuss's stepdaughter, Lark Gray Diamond Cates. She said, "I think in this day and age, it's a wise decision. I think this is a world that right now is in pain, and we've all got to be very gentle and thoughtful and kind with each other." She expressed hope the books would someday come back in circulation, and noted about her late stepfather, there wasn't a racist bone in that man's body. He was so acutely aware of the world around him and cared so much. Meanwhile, after Dr. Seuss became the latest cancel culture controversy, his books are now taking over Amazon's bestseller list. And there's only one explanation for that. Americans are racist. While Dr. Seuss wasn't canceled in quite the way the New York Post makes it seem, it raises an interesting question. What beloved children's book will be pulled next? And for what reason? The Little Engine That Could, for contributing to climate change. Where the Wild Things Are, for its unflattering depiction of the furry community. If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, for being a gateway to socialism. Stop asking for handouts and pick yourself up by your own tiny bootstraps, you stupid mouse. Actually, never mind. That book wouldn't get canceled. In fact, that mouse deserves more cookies so he can reach cookie equity. But that's not going to stop the very hungry caterpillar from getting pulled for fat shaming. So what do you think about the stories we covered? Leave your comments below. And remember, America Uncovered is supported mainly by viewers. Be sure to visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered. Contribute $1 or more per episode. We rely on your support to help us keep making these great episodes. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.